Hey guys, my name is Francisco Hernandez, and in today's video I'm going to be going over 10 reasons why I'm switching from Canon to Sony. So the very first reason that I'm going to be mentioning is one that was probably the biggest driving factor and why I wanted to try Sony to begin with, and that's going to be eye autofocus. For a portrait photographer, focusing on the eye is extremely important, and eye autofocus just makes it extremely easy to nail focus on that eye. I was previously using back button focus and focusing and recomposing to get focused on the eye, and I thought I was okay with that, but once I heard about eye autofocus, I was pretty much very intrigued, and I wanted to try it myself. And when I did try it, I was just completely sold on the system. Every single shoot that I've done with the Sony system using eye autofocus was just too easy. Focusing and recomposing was pretty much a chore that I kind of gotten used to. It became second nature, and I'm kind of actually shaking it off now because eye autofocus is just too easy, and I just have it in me to want to focus and recompose, and I don't have to do that anymore. For all you professional photographers out there, I'm positive that every single second counts, and using eye autofocus has allowed me, in the months that I've used Sony, to shorten the length of my portrait sessions to be very quick because of eye autofocus. The second reason that I wanted to bring up is one that I think that many of you guys who are shooting Canon are going to be extremely happy about because of how invested you are in Canon, and that's the ability to adapt your current Canon lenses to the Sony system using the Sigma MC11 adapter. Being able to shoot with the same lenses on both my Canon and my Sony system was just, for one, it saved a lot of money, and two, it was just cool the fact that I could use the same lens on both bodies. Using the MC11 adapter, I'm able to use eye autofocus, which is like I said, the biggest reason that I wanted to shoot Sony. But with the Canon glass, like the Canon 135L, that was personally my favorite, I wasn't able to use that, but I was still able to focus pretty good. So it wasn't a deal breaker or anything to me. So if one of the reasons why you're holding back on trying Sony is because you have all this money invested in Canon glass, try it out. The adapter is not that much, and the Sony's cameras, depending on the one you get, is not that much at all either. So I mean, I think it's worth a try. The third reason that I wanted to talk about is the electronic viewfinder. This was something that I didn't think that I was going to enjoy, but having used it for a couple months now, I can't imagine not using it because it honestly makes shooting a lot easier. I was previously taking a shot and then seeing how it looked, and then taking another shot and making adjustments from there. Sometimes I'd get a good exposure on the first shot. Sometimes, other times I would be taking up to 3 to 4 shots, and before I continued my session. And like I said, every second counts. So if I can take a good exposure on the very first shot, that's gonna make my sessions go a lot faster, and the flow of the session as well is gonna be a lot easier. Reason number 4 is one that I think most of you have heard about, and that's the size and the weight being a lot better. My 6D was not even the biggest camera out there, and I thought it was pretty light, but when I started shooting with my Sony a6500, I noticed right away how better the lighter system was and how heavier the 6D was in comparison to the Sony a6500. I have the 6D right here, and I have the a7R II right here, and you can see the size difference, and it might not look like a lot, but when you travel, it is going to be a big factor, and kind of why you would want to choose one over the other. I did a little bit of traveling this past 2 years, and every single time that I would travel, I would feel the weight on my body, and I would get sore because of how heavy it was, even though I thought that it wasn't that, I thought it was something that I had to deal with because of how light my 6D was and the lenses were. So, shooting with Sony, I'm pretty sure my body is going to appreciate it in the future. Reason number 5 is the 4K video quality. This was probably the biggest factor that pushed me into the Sony system, because although I was intrigued by the eye autofocus, I needed better video quality, and the 6D was just not giving me that. Every single video that I did with the 6D, I was just not happy with. And the very first video that I shot with my a6500 was just insanely better. And you guys can actually see for yourself with my past videos, which were shot with the 6D, in which were shot with the A6500 because of you will see the quality difference. Okay, so reason number 6 is in-body image stabilization. Like I said before, I got the Sony system because of video, and in-body image stabilization is going to be something that just makes the videos a lot nicer. And I have shaky hands myself, so I know that it probably correct it, to at least normal standard shakiness with, with the system, with the video. Reason number 7 is one that I don't think gets a lot of attention at all, and that's clear image zoom. Clear image zoom is basically technology developed by Sony to give you a bit of extra reach without losing any image quality. So for example, if you're shooting video at a wedding and you're using an 85mm at the back of the church and you want to get a little bit of extra reach for something important going on in the front, you can use clear image zoom to get that extra reach so that you don't miss anything. A filmmaker by the name of Craig Adams actually uses that exact example when shooting his weddings because it's such an awesome feature, so why wouldn't you use it? When it comes to shooting photos, this feature is only available for JPEG shooters, but this isn't going to be an issue shooting with a high megapixel camera like the A7R II, in which you would be able to basically just crop. Reason number 8 is the tilt screen. There had been instances in the past where I was shooting with my 60 and I wanted to get a very cool low shot, which required me to get in the grass, but although I didn't mind getting in the grass, this could have been avoided had my 60 just had a articulated screen. Reason number 9 is actually 2 reasons that I just combined into one, and that's expanded zoom and focus peaking. For those of you who don't know what focus peaking is, it's basically just a feature that allows you to see what's in focus when you're manually focusing so that you can manually focus better. Although I prefer autofocus, I did try this feature before when I was shooting with video, and it honestly did help a lot. Expanded zoom is actually a pretty cool feature, and what it does is that as soon as you switch to manually focusing, it kind of zooms in so that you can see the focus a lot better, and with the electronic viewfinder of the Sony system, you can now focus really easily. Whenever I shoot video personally, I actually prefer expanded zoom over focus peaking. The last reason that I wanted to talk about is the biggest of all the reasons on the list, and that's the future technology that Sony has to offer. What I mean by that is if you shoot Canon, you probably experienced before in the past waiting on a camera release and then only to get it and kind of be let down by the little improvement that was made on it. I have no problem whatsoever with Canon. I want to be clear about that, and I had actually been shooting with them for a few years, but I honestly never felt that the technology was there, that I was using a system that worked, but it could be a lot better. The Canon 6D specifically was released at the end of 2012, and I got mine at the end of 2013, and it's already 2017, and Canon still hasn't released a second version of the 6D. I'm the type of guy that loves innovation and technology, and Canon just completely dropped the ball countless times, and I've only been shooting Sony for a few months, and the technology is just light years ahead of them. The fact of the matter is, the Sony a6500 and the Canon 6D are around the same price at the time of making this video, and the Sony a6500 is just providing so much more that I can't honestly recommend the 6D over it because of all the features that it's lacking. I had always been intrigued by Sony, but I was just a bit scared. You're always scared of the unknown, and it's huge thanks to people out there on YouTube, specifically my friend Jason Vong, who made these videos on Sony that they completely opened my eyes to the system, and it's these reasons why I want to make videos myself on the Sony system, to help people who might be wondering what the benefits are and why they should switch, so that they could enjoy this system and enjoy photography in general a lot more. I'm going to be linking to Jason's channel in the description below so you guys can check out his videos because I highly recommend them. I honestly feel that I've lifted a whole bunch of weight off my shoulders by switching to Sony because, like I said, Canon was good, but it could have been a lot better like Sony is right now. Alright guys, so that's basically my reasoning for why I'm switching from Canon to Sony. It's going to be completely based on personal preference and what I like. So don't feel like you need to switch, but at least kind of open your mind to what's out there, because I felt like I was that I was good with Canon until I started to see these videos and stuff on YouTube and see what Sony has to offer and why I might want to switch as well. Don't feel like you ever need to be stuck in one system because of the investment that you've made. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like it, comment, subscribe, and even share it if you really did like it, and stay tuned to see a lot more.